day everyone, my name is Julian Sevillas and I will be your reporter for today. And I will be discuss Chapter 19, How to Redesign Work and Production. One of the most important challenges for management of the 1990s is to find creative ways to unlock the potential that exists in the overwhelming majority of our workforce. The past decade has seen a decline in the productivity growth rate as well as subtle but substantial decrease in job satisfaction among factory workers, clerical personnel, and millions of other people who, in the final analysis of their productive work in our complex organization, discusses a cultural challenge for management in the 1990s, which is need to discover innovative approaches to unleash the untapped potential present in the majority of the workforce over the past decade. There has been a decrease in the growth rate of productivity and a noticeable decline in job satisfaction among various groups such as factory workers, clerical staff, and many others within complex organizations. The 1970s saw the emergence of the quality of work-life movement, encouraged by companies' unions as well. It was an effort to reverse the unproductive trend and provide more meaning in work and many work factors that influence motivation. In the 1970s, there was a rise in the quality of work-life movement, supported by both companies and unions. This movement aimed to counter the unproductive trend and enhance the significance of work and the various factors influencing motivation. It is maintained that this is possible for people to improve the quality of their work lives and in so doing, maximize their productive potential. There are a number of old assumptions that can be challenged, that the intrinsic nature of work is fixed, that technology and work processes determine the design of jobs, and that all management people can do is select and train people properly and put a little icing as the cake by applying some popular human relation gimmicks. The argument presented is that individuals have the capacity to enhance the quality of their work lives, thereby maximizing their productivity. Several traditional assumptions are being questioned, including the belief that work's intrinsic nature is fixed, that job design is solely influenced by technology and work processes, and that management role is limited to selecting and training employees while incorporating superficial human relation strategies. A high level of motivation requires, among other things, reliable feedback on how well a worker is performing, a sense that he or she is accountable for outcomes, and finally, feeling that the job has some meaning beyond just a paycheck. Achieving a high level of motivation involves providing dependable feedback on performance, instilling a sense of accountability for outcomes, and ensuring that employees perceive their work as having meaning beyond just receiving a paycheck. Whatever an individual does, make a product or provide service, must be felt to have some impact on and significance for other people. For an employee to assume more responsibility, he or she requires a certain degree of autonomy and some freedom, independence, and discretion in determining how the job should be set up and performed. Such a position is contrary to long-standing principle experts and industrial engineers, emphasizes the importance of individuals feeling that their work, whether in product making or service revision, has a meaning impact on others. To increase employee responsibility, autonomy, freedom, independence, and discretion in job setup and performance are crucial, contrary to traditional principles advocated by experts and industrial engineers. It is not assumed that all persons have the same motivational strength. Those who are only marginally competent at the job and have few needs for personal growth should not be treated in the same manner as those who are skilled and independent. Job enrichment differs in degree according to the individual's capacities and needs. It is acknowledged that not all individuals possess the same level of motivation. Those who are marginally competent and have limited growth needs should not be treated identically to skilled and independent workers. Job enrichment should be tailored to individual capacities and requirements. Analyzing the work situation. How does one know what sort of employee will respond to what kind of stimulus? Until recently, the diagnostic techniques for analyzing jobs, including their psychological dimensions, have been somewhat foggy and sloppy, but provided with a sensible diagnostic instrument, the Job Diagnostic Survey or JDS can be used to diagnose an employee's perception about the job before changes are introduced. It is the baseline for determining whether and how to redesign the work. The instrument is also used to assess how changes will affect employee motivation and satisfaction after jobs are redesigned to improve the fit between the work structure and the organization management. Understanding how different employees respond to various stimuli is essential. The Job Diagnostic Survey or JDS is a valuable tool for diagnosing employees' perception of their job before implementing changes. This survey serves as a baseline for determining the need and method for work design and evaluating the impact of changes on employee motivation and satisfaction. Many have experienced efforts to redesign jobs. Often one short effort has immediate result, but when the vanishing effect phenomenon sets in, one well-intentioned program goes down the drain. To counter this phenomenon, they detail the practices that can sustain interest in redesigned jobs. The practice involves training, career development, compensation, and supervisory behavior. Job redesign efforts often face challenges with initial enthusiasm fading over time, known as vanishing effect phenomenon. To sustain interest in redesigned job, practices such as training, career development, compensation, and supervisory behavior are essential. The importance of ensuring that all members of the organization, especially the middle management team, are fully aware of the reason why jobs are being redesigned. In numerous experiments, it was found out that many redesign efforts which began with considerable enthusiasm among top line and staff people and among workers themselves failed because middle management was not included in the planning process. It is crucial for the entire organization, especially middle management, to understand the reason behind job redesign initiatives. Failure to involve middle management in the planning process has led to failure of many redesign efforts despite initial enthusiasm from top-line staff and workers. Redesigning individual jobs is only part of the picture. Much work activity is performed in groups. How can management enhance team effectiveness? By stimulating work groups and establishing group norms. In addition to individual job redesign, group dynamics play a significant role in work activities. Management can enhance team effectiveness by encouraging work groups and establishing group norms. Involvement is key, and allowing groups to develop their performance strategies is more effective than strict supervision. Genuine participation and granting real authority to work groups in management internal affairs are highlighted as essential for successful team dynamics. Involvement is the key, therefore, management should allow the group to work out its own performance strategies whenever possible. The much discussed autonomous work group is a better way to direct work activity than formal supervision. They put to rest the pseudo participation practice of the past by pointing out that these manipulative management techniques can be worse than no participation at all. Work groups must be given real authority for managing internal matters. Taking action. The fundamental guidelines for any kind of change, be it technological or organization, calls for the implementation of change which contains some of the best information written on the subject. The 5 strategies for ensuring change are: first, making use of conceptual foundations and whether there is need to redesign work in the first place. Utilizing conceptual foundation, this involves assessing the need for work redesign and establishing the foundational concept for initiating any changes. Second, deciding whether to redesign individual jobs or group jobs. Deciding on job redesign, organizations need to decide whether to redesign individual jobs or group jobs based on their specific requirements. Deciding what theoretical basis is to be used in approaching work redesign. Examples of such theories are motivational hygiene or the socio-technical system. Selecting theoretical basis, choosing the appropriate theoretical framework, such as motivational hygiene or the socio-technical system to guide the approach to work redesign. Decide whether work design should be tailored to the special characteristics of section of an organization and individuals in it or whether changes should be made on a broad organization-wide basis. Tailoring work design. Organization must determine whether work design should be customized to specific organizational sections and individuals or implemented across the entire organization. Fifth, weighing the advantages and disadvantages of starting redesign first at the grassroots level through the participative process starting in a top-down mode. The pros and cons of those change models and of those change models that require only limited involvement of the parties and those that are called for collaboration. Weighing change models evaluating the benefits and drawbacks of initiating redesign efforts either from the grassroots level through participative process or in top-down manner. It involves considering the level involvement required from limited participation to full collaboration. What is striking is the appropriateness of these strategies not only to job redesign but to new microprocessing techniques, to new product lines or services, or to any kind of organizational change. Where unions are involved, little doubt is left that only a full collaboration model will work. Many companies have erroneously decided to engage in participative management with the idea of either keeping a union out or weakening its impact. This is not just naive, it can backfire. The most successful quality of work-life programs involving worker participation have come out about through full collaboration with the union. In summary, the strategies are as follows. First, the readiness of the organization for changes in job structure must be assessed and the commitment of top management and union leadership tested. Second, decision must be made about the level involvement of job incumbents in the change process, and if they are to participate significantly, they must be coached in the theory and practice of work redesign. Structural, social, and political problems and opportunities that idiosyncratic to the work must be identified and plans laid for dealing with them. Fourth, the criteria to be used in judging the success or failure of the project must be determined and appropriate evaluative measure found and devised. It is better to avoid launching a work redesign project if the top issues cannot be resolved beforehand, and the toughest issue of all is to decide whether top management is fully committed to job redesign, especially when employees will gain higher authority to determine how their jobs are set up and managed. Frontline supervisor must be included lest they see autonomous work group as a threat to their right to tell to subordinate what to do and when, how, and where to do it. There will be two simple choices of management. First, to adopt strategies reinforced by experiments, and second, to fall back to scientific management principles of work measurement and design, which fundamentally holds that technology determines the nature of work and management task is simply to engineer the job, then select and train people to fit it.